Ladies and gentlemen, this is your wake-up call. Not a gentle one, not a polite tap on the shoulder. This is the kind of wake-up call that grabs you by the collar, looks you dead in the eyes and says, it's now or never. Because there comes a point in your life when playing small is no longer an option. When shrinking yourself to fit into people's expectations becomes unbearable. When you realize that if you don't change now, radically, unapologetically, you wake up 1 year from today in the exact same place, living the exact same story, wondering where your potential went. And that moment, that realization, is where everything begins. Ladies and gentlemen, you were not born to be average. You were not designed to coast through life, living on autopilot, reacting to the world instead of creating your own. There's a version of you that's been screaming to come alive. A version that's disciplined, powerful, focused, and fierce. A version that doesn't flinch at challenges, doesn't fold under pressure, and doesn't back down when things get uncomfortable. But that version doesn't show up by accident. You have to choose it. You have to decide that enough is enough. That you're done waiting for the perfect time, the perfect plan, or the perfect mood. That from this moment on, you are not available for mediocrity, excuses, or self-sabotage. This isn't about motivation. This isn't about hype. This is about transformation, and it starts now. For the next 7 days, I want you to forget who you've been. I want you to stop defining yourself by your past. I want you to ignore the people who said you can't, won't, or shouldn't. Because for 1 week, you are going to operate like your future is on the line. Because it is. Then here's the truth. You don't need a year to begin changing your life. You don't need to wait for a new month, a new Monday, or a new mindset. What you need is commitment. Relentless, no matter what commitment. 7 days of showing up even when it's hard. 7 days of acting like the person you've always had the potential to be. 7 days of intensity, clarity, and discipline. This is not about becoming perfect. It's about becoming unrecognizable. To the person you used to be, the version of you that made excuses, gone. The version of you that broke promises to yourself, done. The version of you that waited to be chosen, validated, or rescued, that person no longer exists. This week is your proving ground. It's your opportunity to rewrite your story, to rise, to rebuild, to reveal the power that's been inside you all along. So I ask you, are you ready to shock yourself? Are you ready to silence the doubt, burn the excuses, and meet the version of you that doesn't just dream, but executes? Because if then buckle up. This week, your life changes. The decision that changes everything. You want to become unrecognizable in 1 week? Then you have to do something that most people never do. You have to make a decision, a real non-negotiable decision, that you are no longer available for the version of yourself that settles, waits, and watches. Transformation doesn't start with the gym membership. It doesn't start with new clothes or a fresh haircut. It starts with a mindset shift, so powerful that it shocks your entire system. It starts the moment you say, I'm done living like this. I'm ready to rise. The truth is, 1 week is enough to start changing your life, but only if you treat every single day like it matters. You can't afford to drift through your week waiting for motivation to kick in. You don't need more time, you need more intensity. You need more focus, more discipline, more urgency. Because nothing changes until you do. Listen, your life isn't going to magically transform while you're sitting around hoping. You have to move with purpose, act with power, and walk like the person you want to become is already inside of you. Because they are. The next level version of you isn't lost. They're buried under bad habits, excuses, distractions, and fear. But not for long. The moment you make the decision to break out of your comfort zone, you give birth to the new you. The stronger you. The bolder you. The focused, fearless, unstoppable version of yourself who doesn't ask for permission, who takes what they came for. It all starts now. Decide that for the next 7 days, you will live with intentional energy. That you will wake up early even when you don't feel like it. That you will move your body, feed your mind, and guard your time like your future depends on it. Because it does. The truth is, most people live their entire lives being almost committed, almost consistent, always great. But not you, not anymore. This is your line in the sand. You are no longer okay with mediocre effort. You are no longer okay with being invisible, forgettable, or replaceable. This is your week to become so disciplined, so focused, so elevated that even you won't recognize the person staring back in the mirror. You don't need to wait for a Monday. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to decide right now that the old you is done. This is your week. This is your time. This is your moment of rebirth. Let the world see who you really are. But first, you've got to meet them yourself. Discipline is the shortcut. If you truly want to become unrecognizable in 1 week, there's one word you need to make your best friend. Discipline. Not motivation, not inspiration. Discipline. Because let's be honest, motivation fades. Some days you'll wake up tired. Some days you won't feel like pushing. And some days that old version of you will whisper, just skip today, one day it won't matter. But that's a lie. One day is everything. That's where discipline comes in. Discipline is doing what needs to be done regardless of how you feel. It's waking up early even when you're tired. It's hitting the gym even when no one's watching. It's choosing a book over scrolling. It's saying no to distractions because you've already said yes to your future. You want to be different in 7 days? Then you need to live these 7 days like your life depends on it, because it does. See, most people waste time waiting to feel ready. But readiness is a trap. You won't feel ready. You'll feel resistance. You'll feel discomfort. You'll feel like quitting. That's how you know you're growing. Discipline is painful, but it's the pain of progress. And pain is the price of transformation. There's a quote that says, if you do what is easy, life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, life will be easy. Think about that. Choosing discipline for just 1 week can unlock a version of you that's been asleep for years. You don't need to do it perfectly, you just need to do it consistently. Wake up every morning and ask yourself, what would the most focused, powerful version of me do today? Then do that. No negotiation. No excuses. No waiting. Here's the truth. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your confidence grows. Every time you say no to the old you, the new you gets stronger. You're not just building habits, you're building identity. You're becoming the person who doesn't quit. You're becoming the person who shows up. You're becoming the person who earns their transformation. And you don't have to wait a year to feel different. You don't even have to wait a month. 1 week of real, raw, ruthless discipline can change everything. Your mindset, your energy, your momentum. And once you taste what it feels like to operate at that level, you'll never want to go back to who you used to be. So make a vow right now. For the next 7 days, discipline is non-negotiable. Be relentless. Be intentional. Be unshakable. Because discipline isn't just the key to results. It's the gateway to the new you. Shift your identity. Don't just chase goals. If you want to become unrecognizable in 1 week, here's the truth. You can't just change what you do. You have to change who you believe you are. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your identity. If deep down you still see yourself as undisciplined, lazy, broken, or average, you will sabotage your progress every single time. So, stop focusing only on the outcome. Start focusing on becoming someone new. You don't just work out, you become an athlete. You don't just wake up early, you become someone who values time. You don't just read books, you become a student of life. It's identity that drives behavior. Look in the mirror. What do you see? Who do you believe you are when no one's watching? That self-perceived controls everything. And here's the secret. You can choose to change it. You don't need permission. You don't need validation. You don't need to wait for someone to believe in you. You just need to decide. Say this out loud. I am no longer available for the old version of me. The person who made excuses, the person who broke promises, the person who settled. They no longer get to run your life. Starting today, every action you take needs to align with the future version of you, not the past. Ask yourself, how does the best version of me think, speak, move, and show up? Then act like that person now. Here's the mistake people make. They wait until they see results to change how they see themselves. But real change works the other way around. You become the person mentally before you become them physically, financially, or emotionally. When your identity shifts, everything else follows. Let's say your goal is to become healthier. Don't just tell yourself, I need to lose weight. Tell yourself, I am the kind of person who never misses a workout. I nourish my body. I value my energy. Then prove it. Daily. If you want to become more confident, stop waiting for confidence to show up. Start doing what confident people do. Stand tall, speak clearly, take action even when you're afraid. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is alignment. Your actions must align with your identity, and your identity must align with your vision. It's not about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about stepping into the person you've always had the potential to be, but were too scared to fully embrace. This is your week to rewire how you see yourself. No more old labels. No more playing small. No more second guessing. From now on, you walk like the future version of you. You talk like them. You think like them. And soon, you become them. This is not a phase. This is the foundation. Because once you shift your identity, your new life begins. Eliminate distractions and cut the noise. If you want to transform in just 1 week, here's something non-negotiable. You must eliminate distractions. Distractions aren't just things that steal your time. They steal your focus. They steal your energy. And most dangerously, they steal your potential. You can't become the next level version of yourself if your mind is constantly being hijacked by social media, pointless conversations, toxic people, and mindless scrolling. Let's be honest. How much of your time each day is spent doing things that do not serve your growth? How often do you check your phone out of boredom, not intention? How many times have you said, I'll start tomorrow, because you allowed something meaningless to interrupt something important? This is the truth most people ignore. Every time you choose distraction, you delay your transformation. You want to become unrecognizable? Then your discipline must become unbreakable. Start here, audit your environment. Look at what surrounds you. Is it pushing you forward or pulling you back? That Instagram feed you scroll through, is it inspiring you or draining you? That friend you talk to every day, do they challenge you to be better or convince you to stay the same? You need to create a space where the highest version of you can thrive. If that means taking a break from social media for 7 days, do it. If that means cutting off people who gossip, complain, and play the victim, do it. If that means turning off your phone 2 hours before bed, do it. Because here's the secret. Focus is your superpower. In a world drowning in noise, the person who can stay locked in, dialed in, and laser focused becomes unstoppable. You don't need more time. You need fewer distractions. You don't need more motivation. You need more clarity. So for the next 7 days, set boundaries like your life depends on it. Because it does. Wake up and ask yourself, what matters today? Not what's trending, not what's popular, not what's convenient. What matters to the person I'm becoming? Then protect that priority with everything you've got. Put your phone in another room. Schedule your time down to the hour. Say no to what doesn't serve you. And say it without apology. This isn't about being antisocial. It's about being pro-growth. You're not ignoring people, you're honoring your mission. You're not being difficult. You're being disciplined. You're not isolating yourself, you're incubating your greatness. Because when you quiet the noise, you finally hear your own voice. And that voice is telling you it's time to rise. This week is about cutting the excuses, cutting the distractions, and cutting the cords that keep you tied to your old life. You're not here to fit in. You're here to stand out. And that begins the moment you eliminate everything that dilutes your focus. Become intentional. Become disciplined. Become so locked in that distractions no longer have power over you. That's how you become unrecognizable. Step into the identity of your future self. This is the final piece of your transformation. If you want to become unrecognizable in 1 week, you can't keep thinking, speaking, or behaving like the old version of yourself. You must step into the identity of your future self right now. Let me ask you something. Who is the person you're trying to become? What does he or she do differently? How they walk, talk, think, dress, carry themselves. That version of you, the one with discipline, confidence, peace, power, that version already exists. They're not some distant dream. They're a decision away. And here's what most people miss. Change doesn't happen when you feel ready. Change happens when you start acting like the person you want to become before you feel like them. You don't wait to be confident, you behave with courage. You don't wait to be successful, you take action like someone who wins. You don't wait to feel disciplined, you show up like someone who is committed. The key is identity. Every morning for the next 7 days, wake up and ask, What would the best version of me do today? And then do it. Would they snooze the alarm? No. Would they scroll social media for 45 minutes in bed? No. Would they procrastinate on their goals? Absolutely not. That version of you is sharp, focused, hungry. They move with clarity. They speak with intention. They don't chase validation, they live with purpose. So you need to stop trying to become and start embodying. Start dressing like the person you respect, but speak words of power, not weakness. Stand tall, move with purpose. Take care of your body, respect your mind, protect your peace. Every action you take either proves your old identity right or proves your new identity possible. This week, prove your future right. Let every step you take send a signal to your mind. This is who I am now. And don't let your past hold you hostage. You're not bound by your old habits. You are not defined by your past failures. You're not limited by other people's labels. You are rewriting the story. You are showing the world and yourself what transformation looks like. So stop saying I'm trying. Say this instead. I am becoming. Because you're not the same. You're no longer average. You're no longer available for excuses, laziness, or fear. You've stepped into a new level. And that new level demands a new identity. The person you were 7 days ago, that person is gone. The person you're becoming, they're already here. So own it, speak it, live it. You are no longer becoming unrecognizable. You already are. As we wrap up, let me remind you that this is not just another motivational speech. This is your invitation to step into the life you've always known. Deep inside you is possible. The life where you don't wait for opportunity to knock, but instead create the opportunities for yourself. For the past few moments, we've been talking about change. We've been talking about shifting your mindset, your discipline, and your identity. But now, it's time to take action. The power is in your hands. You've heard the message, you've felt the intensity, and now the real question is, what are you going to do with it? Will you sit on the sidelines, waiting for the perfect moment? Or will you rise up and become the person who makes things happen? This week is your opportunity to prove to yourself that you are capable of so much more than you ever thought possible. It starts with one choice. The choice to show up no matter how you feel. The choice to put in the work even when it's hard. The choice to trust that each small step you take is moving you closer to the person you are destined to become. It's not about achieving perfection. It's not about being flawless. It's about being relentless. It's about being consistent. It's about doing what you know you need to do, even when every part of you wants to quit. Your transformation isn't going to happen overnight, but this week can be the catalyst. This week can be the moment you look back on and say, that's where it all changed. That's where I took control of my life. That's where I stopped making excuses and started taking action. Commit to your future. Commit to the person you are becoming. It all starts now. The time is never going to be perfect, so stop waiting. You have everything you need right now. Power, discipline, focus, and the drive to move forward. So let's finish this week stronger than we started. Let's show the world, and more importantly, ourselves, what we're capable of. Let's rise. Let's evolve. Let's become unrecognizable. Remember, change begins the moment you decide. And today, you've decided. This is your week. Own it.